A very good morning and welcome all of you to the daily news analysis for 24th of January 2025. So guys, we are going to deal with an ethical case study today in the news analysis as demanded by most of you. First of all, SEBI's when listed platform and how it is going to impact the investors, especially the IPO investors, initial public offer investors. So I'm going to explain you what do we mean by initial public offer and what happens in the gray market. What is gray market? What is curb trading? All those things we are going to discuss in this news analysis. Now you must be you must be able to recollect the images of stressed workers migrating back to their native places during COVID-19. This was a mayhem that played out in 2020, 2021 during the first and second wave of COVID-19. Okay. During that time, two acts were there, Building and Other Construction Workers Act and Interstate Migrant Workers Act. Those two acts were not implemented then. Despite a lot of funding lying there, these acts are not implemented in the right earnest even to this day. This has been revealed by an RTI application. So we are going to study this topic in detail. Then I have incorporated an editorial, Rumor Induced Railway Accident. The title of the editorial in the Hindu newspaper is Rumor Has It. It was because of the rumor that this railway tragedy happened where 10-11 people were mowed down by a train coming on the adjacent railway track. Okay, so what led to the panic? A chai wala, a tea vendor basically spread the rumor that there is a fire underneath the railway bogie. So we are going to see what could have been done to avoid this thing. Can there be automated railway, these doors like we see in the Vande Bharat or in the metro rail these days? Then why Supreme Court suggested appointing retired High Court judges on ad hoc basis? Why Supreme Court suggested against appointing these retired High Court judges as ad hoc judges? Why should we not be appointing regular judges instead is the matter here, underlying matter. Okay, what was the threshold suggested by the Supreme Court to appoint these ad hoc judges? Ad hoc judges provision under Article 224A of the Constitution should be used sparingly. Should be used sparingly. All the news included by the Hindu newspaper. Yes, IPS Pankaj Prajapati. Yes, you can say that. Okay. Now, good morning to all of you. Now, these are the articles. Then MDL, Mesgaon Dock Limited and the other TKMS body bid for P75 submarine tender, clears the technical evaluation. So P75I, I told you the other day also, P75I project, what is it? We are going to basically revise this again. Then Meta secures National Company Law Appellate Tribunal's approval to go ahead with the 5 years deal between Meta, the parent entity, and WhatsApp for sale of data from the WhatsApp. So don't get surprised if you happen to get a message on, or if you happen to see an advertisement on Facebook or Instagram right after you had a chat with one of your friends regarding eating Maggi noodles. This is just about, not about Maggi noodles, anything if you are talking about on WhatsApp, if that happens to appear in the form of ads feed, advertisements on your Facebook or Instagram after 2-3 days from now, don't be surprised or shocked if someone is reading your WhatsApp chats. No, it is the algorithm. Now Meta, the parent company, will be able to sell data to, will be able to buy data from the WhatsApp, its subsidiary entity. So you all must be knowing that Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all these companies are owned by one company, that is Meta. Okay, now case study we are going to see, ethical dilemma. So let's get started. First thing first, Securities and Exchange Board of India, realizing that the time gap between the launch of an IPO. IPO is initial public offer, let's say on Sensex. Okay, you registered these shares on Bombay Stock Exchange, but these shares are not, somebody like this person is applying for IPO, but this IPO shares are yet in the pipeline. Shares have been allotted, it takes transaction plus 3 days after the allotment of shares. First of all, you apply, like you apply for any college form, you apply for the shares, then it takes 30 days, it is 30 days period given to the people, like you apply for UPSC form, okay, approximately 30 days period or 25 days period is given. Likewise, the period is given for the shares to be allocated, for the shares to be allotted. If I am applying for 10,000 shares of a company, the likelihood of me getting 10,000 shares is very, very low. I will get at the max, let's say 1500 shares. Okay, now when I'm allotted these shares, 1500 shares, the day when I'm allotted and the day when I will actually be able to sell them on the Bombay Stock Exchange, when they are available for sale on Bombay Stock Exchange, there is a time gap of 3 days. Transaction plus 3, T plus 3. Okay, this time gap is exploited by the brokers, by the people on the Dalal street to transact in the grey market. Now, what is grey market? Grey market is an informal market where the shares are being purchased by those who expect that the price is going to be high, and shares are being sold by those who want to mint profit, arbitrage, who want to make profit out of this kind of a transaction. So what happens? This time gap is exploited by the vested interest, by the people who might be unscrupulous, who do not have good intentions, who want to dupe people of their hard-earned money. Okay, just to not let this happen, SEBI is coming up with the portal or platform which is called as when listed platform, to enable the transactions to happen in the white market or in the visible market. This 3-day portal will be created so that people can transact in the regulated market under the SEBI's supervision. Got it? Suppose if you apply for UPSC form, right, but you aren't allocated the center. If somebody tells you that they will give you the center of your choice, provided you pay them 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, and later on they disappear, how would you feel? You would feel cheated. Same thing happens here. People are transacting, let's say they expect the price to be around 90 rupees. When the shares purchased through initial public offer of a company are not available for sale or purchase on the stock market, what happens is the price is just a guesstimation, guess plus estimation. Okay, like when Reliance Power share had come or any new company's share comes, the actual price is not known. So people are transacting 90 rupees plus minus 30 rupees plus minus 30. So somebody is ready to pay 120 rupees for the share which is not yet listed. I mean, which is not yet available for sale. Share applied for, okay. Share allotted, okay. But share is not available for sale. What would a person do? Person wants to sell share. Okay, so he goes to the grey market, informal market, and tells the broker, the dalal, that I want to sell this share off. Dalal says that this share is for 70 rupees, even though the share might actually, when the bell rings, the share might actually be available for sale at 150 rupees, right? So this is how a kind of informal way of betting happens over here. So to avoid this phenomena, to save the common investors of their hard-earned money, okay, SEBI is coming up with this, what we call as when listed platform. Informally, colloquially, we are calling it as when listed platform, but its actual name is going to be something else. Okay, so grey market, it refers to the unofficial trading of securities even before being listed on the stock exchanges. It is an unregulated market and works on demand and supply, with investors purchasing or selling shares notionally in the grey market even before they get listed. The text is there in the slides. You can go through it. Okay, I am selectively reading the text because I have already explained the topic to you. So as to save time and as to have an effective transmission of learning. Okay. T plus 3, trading plus 3 working days. Trading plus 3 working days from the closure of the issue to the listing of the stock. This is the time when an IPO closes for subscription, while curb trading refers to trading outside the ambit of stock exchange. So the question might come, okay, the ones who are posting their doubts, please post the doubts in the YouTube comment section only, so that I can keep a tab only on the one platform. Just allow me a minute. Okay, so all your doubts, please post in the comment feed. I'll be able to answer from that only. I'm keeping an active tab on the comments by you guys. Just got hold of my cup of tea. Now, okay, so current timeline for listing of shares. At present, once the bidding process for an IPO closes, shares have to be listed on the bourses. Bourses means stock exchanges, from Bombay Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange. Okay, in trading plus 3 working days. So that means once the IPO process closes, once you are allotted shares, it will take you trading plus 3 days. 3 days from the date of actual allocation of allotment of shares, plus 3 days to for you to be enabled to actually sell your shares. Okay, so the allotment of shares has to be done on T plus 1 day, trading day plus 1 day, right? Allotment is done, but it takes another 2 days after this 1 day for shares to be available for sale in your demat account, and for them to be actually reflect on the Bombay Stock Exchange screen that the share is trading at a price of 93, it is down by 5 paisa, like that. Okay, it may be up by 5 paisa, like that, but it takes 3 days. This 3 days time period, the arrow that you see between, is utilized by the brokers, by the informal market, to do the trading until the shares are officially available for sale. Got it? It is this pre-listing grey market trading activity which the SEBI wants to reduce. Not to talk about SEBI's Madhabi Buch's own misdeeds, Adani allegations, etc. She is catching the ants even as she herself is the elephant. Don't mind my words, okay? I'm not any pro any political party, any businessman, anybody, but yes, as a citizen of this country, talking to the peer citizens of my country, I'm talking about these things. We are catching the ants even as the elephant is wide visible. Now, okay, it is a good practice that she is bringing about, Madhabi Buch, but her own record should be clear. How does grey market trading in an IPO happen? So you just go through it. It is because for your convenience that the text has been incorporated. Just an example, if the price band for an IPO in the grey market is 90 to 100 rupees, somebody is selling it for 90 rupees, somebody 91, somebody 93, somebody 100 rupees. The premium could be rupees 10, rupees 20 or rupees 30 higher. Well, actually, the price could be rupees 10, rupees 20 or rupees 30 higher. But the price band in the grey market is just 10 rupees higher, hovering between 90 and 10. Okay. Once the premium is fixed, investor sends their bid to the market operator for either buying or selling. Once the premium is fixed in the actual market, I will, through my laptop, through my demat account, I will send the command to my share trader broker with which for example, ICICI demat account. I will give the command to the demat account holder, my demat account possessor, to execute the transaction at, let's say, 130 rupees. But once the shares are listed, unless the shares are listed, I am dependent on these scrupulous, some of them scrupulous, some of them unscrupulous brokers who are working in the grey market for at least 3 days until the shares are fully available for sale. Got my point? Is it clear to everybody? So, for settlement of grey market, the opening price of shares of a company on the official listing day is considered. All right. Now, how would the when listed facility benefit investors? As soon as the allotment of shares in an IPO is over, the entitlement to that share gets crystallized. Allotment of shares in an IPO is over. I am entitled to get shares. You apply for UPSC, you are allotted the roll number. Okay, but which center will you get is actually not clear to you. You are entitled to appear in the exam. Got it? According to that analogy, if you start booking an auto wala that if my radius, if the radius of my center is within 5 kilometers, I'll pay you 1000 rupees. If radius is 10 kilometers, I'll pay you 1500 rupees. If you book a cab in that manner, are you not being cheated if the center happens within 1 kilometer only? Similarly, if the price shoots up to 150 rupees, when you actually hold the share, when you actually got the share for 100 rupees and you are selling it for 105 rupees, you are at a loss of 45 rupees, aren't you? So because of the lack of a formal mechanism, a SEBI regulated mechanism, common investors are being duped of their chance to earn money, are being denied their chance to earn money in the legitimate manner because of lack of availability of an institutionally regulated mechanism. Now that mechanism in the form of, since when listed platform is going to be made available. Got it? Now you can recollect looking at these images. Coming to the second news issue of the day, can you read this? India's pandemic exodus was a biological disaster and stranded migrant workers should be classified as internally displaced. This is a news clipping of 2021 after the second wave of COVID-19, which was more deadly, which was deadlier than the first wave, right? Now, I'm going to tell you about two acts dealing with the welfare of the workers. These poor people who leave their places, native places in Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh, and even from places as far away as South to come to northern states, to come to Maharashtra for earning their livelihood. Two acts are Building and Other Construction Workers Act, number 1, Interstate Migrant Workers Act, number 2. Briefly about the Act number 2. Act number 2 states that the state from where they are leaving, for example purpose, I'm taking Bihar, and the states where they are moving to, Punjab. Both these states should register the data under Interstate Migrant Workers Act. Under Interstate Migrant Workers Act, on this portal managed by Ministry of Labour and Employment, they should register the details of workers who have out-migrated from state of Bihar and workers who have in-migrated into the state of Punjab, so that when any such kind of exodus, any such kind of tragedy, any such kind of mass evacuation or eviction happens, both these states are in a position to at least name and identify these workers. But this act has not been implemented in the least manner possible, I would say. Not the best extent. We are talking about the least manner. Okay, talk about Manrega workers, talk about their welfare benefits. Governments have no data whatsoever. Scant regard is being paid. Why? Why is this scant regard being paid? Because migrant workers in India do not have right to vote in the state in which they reside. Even as on Pravasi Bharati Divas, we were talking about giving right to vote to NRIs. Talking big when we cannot take care of small issues. Our own people living in our own country doing more toil and hard work than the NRIs. I respect NRIs, diaspora, everything. But just to add some element of sentiment to it, imagine these workers, because of the reason that they are going to migrate back or they are not going to vote for Kejriwal or Maharashtra CM or Punjab CM, their demands are not heeded to. They do not even have the voter ID card in the age of Aadhaar. Getting my point? Okay, moving further. Coming to the agenda today, Building and Other Construction Workers Act. Building and Other Construction Workers Act has got many other provisions, but we are going to specifically talk about the cess provision. Cess thing says that if I am a company, let's say I am GMR Infrastructure or Larsen and Toubro L&T, okay, Larsen and Toubro, just an imaginary name. Okay, if I'm going to construct this apartment whose cost is 1000 crore rupees, then I am supposed to contribute in the form of cess 1% or up to 2%, minimum 1% up to 2% of this cost of project towards the building and other construction workers cess for their welfare. Point taken, point digested. If I am GMR infrastructure company or Adani infrastructure or Ambani, I'm constructing an airport, metro line, etc. Whatever be the cost of construction project, as a builder, for the welfare of these workers, I am supposed to contribute 1 to 2%, minimum 1%, maximum 2% of the entire cost of the project for the welfare of these workers. Point number 1, the legal entitlements of the workers, workers here under the Building and Other Construction Workers Act. Number 2, these workers are to be legally provided temporary shelter. The bricks kept one above the other, you see those kacha houses, temporary makeshift shelters for them. Those, and including toilets, have to be provided by the employer at the site of construction. That is why when you see some big project coming up, workers are provided the sites, because their time of commutation will be less and they will show up on the work on time. Got it? So these things are legally mandated. Out of the total amount of 1,40,000 odd crore rupees collected under this fund, governments have not spent 70,000 crore rupees. Okay, as per the RTI application, 70,744 crore rupees are lying idle in this fund under the possession of different state governments. Barring Kerala, please keep on writing or scribbling. Except the state of Kerala, many states have not implemented this act in the right earnest. Another fact, the act was passed in 1996, but it ultimately got implemented in 2005. Okay, the complete name of the act is Building and Other Construction Workers Regulation of Employment and Conditions of Service Act. Regulation of Employment and Conditions of Service Act. Okay, the boards have collected 1,17,000 crore rupees, says, from the employers and allocated 67,000 crore rupees. Rest 70,000 crore rupees is unspent. Right? So the RTI applicant, one of the construction workers welfare NGO, they had filed an RTI application to get to know the details. As per the details revealed, in Maharashtra, in last 10 years, only 19,000 crore rupees have been collected. Does it mean that in Maharashtra, only projects worth 1,90,000 crore rupees have been implemented? Because 1% of 1,90,000 crore, whatever be the figure, translates into just 19,000. In Maharashtra, buying one building is worth thousands of crores. So, cess underpayment is an other problem in the implementation of the act because of corruption, because of lack of accountability. CAG is a busybody, cannot audit everything, all those things. Okay. Now, as many as 5 crore 73,48,723 workers have registered with 36 state welfare boards, state plus union territories welfare boards. Okay. So, only 5 crore 73 lakh workers. Remember guys, these are daily wagers, daily wage earners, informal workers who otherwise do not have many rights, many institutional social security net. It is only in the last 5-7 years that we have given them the protection under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana or Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, right? Ayushman Bharat. But why not entitle them to something that is already there in the possession of state governments? Okay, so this was the major issue, one of the important lead topics for the day. What are the question from this topic is, what are the various legislations available for the workers of, available for the construction workers? Rohit, you can ping me on the Telegram. I can understand your stage. Okay, having been through the same stage myself, so can empathize with you. Now, pardon me for this. Okay, write down the question. What are the major legislations, enactments available for the migrant workers? some points I'll give you. We are talking about this portable Aadhaar card, portable ration card, portable Manrega. Portable means if a worker from Bihar migrates to Punjab, he will be entitled to all the entitlements under the welfare scheme like National Food Security Act. He will be entitled to 10 kg of ration or 20 kg of ration which he was getting in his native state of Bihar, in the state he is migrating to. Okay. So if a worker from Bihar migrates to Punjab, if the ration card portability is there, if the National Food Security Act portability is there, thanks to the advent of IT, he will be able to relocate to, he will be able to get all those entitlements, 20 kg ration in his state of migration, where he is migrated, for example, Punjab, right? So this should be possible in the country which is under Article 1 called as India, that is Bharat is a union of states. We call ourselves as a country with single citizenship. Yesterday I was teaching you what? Udan series. I was teaching you the salient features of the constitution. We talked about single citizenship in the country. Okay, but is the single citizenship actually translating into single citizenship? Question is metaphorical, but understand the essence. Why shouldn't we be able to give the citizens of this country who are residing in various parts of the country the same entitlements all through the country? Right to vote at least, right? So these things are there. And the worst part is on the next slide, that now Construction Workers Federation of India, you can note down the name of this NGO first of all. Okay, this will come in handy. You should have NGOs names: CRY, Child Rights and You, PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Whenever you are writing any answer on any of these topics, animal rights versus human rights, the dilemma that is there, the debate that is going on, Jallikattu, etc. Names of these NGOs related to various sectors should be there on your tips so that you can cite in the answers. For construction workers, Construction Workers Federation of India, its chief and IAS officer, he had filed an RTI application with the Ministry of Labour and this employment. Okay, cess evasion. I told you in 19 years, Maharashtra cess collection is just 19,489 crores. Another scam going on. 1% of total construction activity in Maharashtra in 19 years is just 19,489 crores. Underpayment, evasion is another problem with the implementation of Building and Other Construction Workers Act. So what are the problems with the, another question is this, what are the problems with the implementation of Building and Other Construction Workers Act? Anshu, please timestamp, take a note of the seconds and minutes wherever we are. Okay, I'm speaking these questions extempore. We'll try to recollect and post them on the Telegram also. But for the moment, if you're not able to jot down the question, please note the time duration when I'm speaking this and you can replay this. Now, this means that the state had construction worth 19 lakh crore only in 19 years. Maharashtra. Is it possible? No. Maharashtra, so many hotels are being constructed. Nagpur, Pune, Mumbai, metro rail, airports, so many things. Sea Link. Okay, the Mumbai Sea Link we are talking about. Then evasion is the other one problem. Now the threat is if the new social security code is implemented, if the new social security code comes into implementation in the full swing, then what will happen? The cess collection process will be diluted as the new code, social security code, comprising 4 laws, has got provisions which are voluntary in nature. The old act, the act that we are talking about, Building and Other Construction Workers Act, has a mandatory provision for 1 to 2% contribution towards the cess. But the new code that we are going to talk about now says that on the basis of self-assessment by the employer will self-assess as to how much cess is he required to pay. In a country where corporates do not pay taxes, where we evade taxes and invest money through Panama Canal, you are leaving it on self-assessment of the employer, the construction worker. Okay. Let me tell you another phenomena. The construction workers are hired second hand. What do we mean by second hand? There is contractualization. The company will hire GMR or L&T. They will hire a contractor. A contractor will provide them the workers in the cohort of 100 each. In Hindi, we call it as toli. Okay, one toli, one cohort of the workers will be of 100 workers, and all the liability of maintenance, payment, etc. will vest upon the contractor. This is the way adopted by the GMR, and I mean GMR is an imaginary name. Hasn't got GMR is still well compliant, better compliant than other companies. Okay, so what they do is they pass on the buck to the contractor. Contractor may be a petty contractor, and they will say that they have in lump sum paid the money to the contractor for constructing this much of project, 10% of project or 5% for constructing one particular floor of the building. So is the contractor traceable? No, contractor's name is Tukaram. Where is he? No, it is a guess. Government bodies have to guess where is he. His Aadhaar card, yes, it is there, but now he is residing in Chennai. Oh, he's moved on to Dubai by the time we are talking. That means that Tukaram was just an alibi, an excuse. Okay, so contractualization of labor is another problem. Secondly, the Building and Other Construction Workers Act mandated the provision of free temporary accommodation. Free temporary accommodation, drinking water and toilets to be provided to the workers. I would say this is the only provision which was being implemented to a satisfactory extent. Why? Because if the workers are residing nearby, employer can extract more work. They don't have the excuse ki it is getting dark and we have to leave for our place, which is 10 kilometers away. Employer would say, we have constructed the makeshift shelter for you right at the site of construction, so you better stay there and work till 7 p.m. in the evening. Right? So this is the problem with these acts, right? Let's move to the other news article. Panic mongering, rumor mongering led to this tragedy. Okay, what happened? You are aware. Pushpak Express, Lucknow Mumbai Pushpak Express accident in Maharashtra that killed 12 people. 12 people were mowed down by the train coming on the adjacent track. What led to this rumor? It was a kind of stampede. One tea vendor could see some smoke coming out of the screeching railway wagon's wheel. Why? Brake binding. What is the meaning of brake binding? Brake binding means, one theory says that brake binding means, where is that slide? I had incorporated one slide on which this was kept. Just a minute. Anyways, that slide got deleted or something happened. Okay, this is there. Okay, so brake binding means that when the wheel, when the driver, when the pilot, captain or whatever, okay, when he applies the brakes, some of the railway wagons brakes does not work, or when he lifts the brake pedal, the brake shoe still remains stuck at the wheel, leading to wheel screeching against the track and wheel not moving. Okay, that leads to the problem that the wheel is emitting or creating a lot of smoke because of screeching of steel against the steel, and heat is emitted, or sometimes sparks are also witnessed. That kind of spark, that kind of heat, that kind of some element of fire witnessed by a tea vendor led him to spread the rumor that there is a fire under the railway coach, because of which somebody pulled the chain of the train and some people started jumping off the train, moving train, when it was at the speed of 10-20. Since all this happened when the train was around the curve on the track, okay, so the other train driver coming on the other track could not see the train, and when he saw, it was already very late and these people were jumping off the train, of the moving train, or when the train was about to completely halt. So blind sight, blind curve was there, and this led to the tragedy. So technically we should be knowing about what do we mean by brake binding. Brake binding is the technical problem because of lack of poor because of lack of maintenance of the railway coaches. And first thing first, why were these people able to jump off the track, jump off the train? What is the solution to it? Can't we have automated door system which opens when the driver wants it to open, as we see in the DTC Delhi transport or Bengaluru buses or buses across India, thanks to the modernization of road transport, thanks to Nitin Gadkari, right? So the minister who applauds himself a lot. So the point is, we can have that, okay, but that is very expensive. We are modernizing our railway infrastructure. We have Vande Bharat trains having those kind of doors. Doors open at the push of the single button. It has got its technical side too, technical problems too. Nonetheless, that could be done. Auto doors that can be opened and closed only by railway personnel, a feature of Vande Bharat and Rajdhani trains, may need to be fitted in general trains as well. Such doors come with their own logistical challenges, such as the requirement that door locking system of each bogie matches with the rest. All the doors should open simultaneously across all the bogies. That is not a big logistical problem for a country which is having ISRO, it's ISRO able to do some maneuvers in the space, big maneuvers in the space, while on Earth we are struggling with these kind of petty tragedies, right? Which should, the loss of lives which could have been avoided. Now, coming here, initial media reports quoted railway officials talking about hot axle and brake binding that may have caused sparks and smoke, which gave rise to fears of a fire and in turn the alarm chain being pulled. Brake binding happens when a brake is applied by the driver, but after its release, the brake does not disengage. Can't we have an audio system wherein not the pilot, not the co-pilot, but somebody whose assistant is paying heed to these kind of, instead of pulling the chain, you can request by pushing the red button that there is some problem, as we see in the metro these days. Okay, these tragedies could be avoided very easily if there is a help desk or mobile number as given in the Shatabdis, as given in the Rajdhanis these days. Okay, so these easy things could be taken care of. Now, brake binding is a case of poor maintenance. I told you, I have explained this point. An inquiry commission, commissioner of railway safety, this is how you are supposed to conclude these type of answers to the tragedies or to something that needs to be further investigated. Okay, an inquiry by the commissioner of railway safety concerned an independent body of the railway experts that does not come under the railway ministry should uncover the real true cause of Wednesday's accident. Now, Donald Trump, this news we are skipping out, you can read it yourself please, not of much relevance. Meme coins, because Donald Trump's family is investing into bitcoins and all. These cryptocurrencies are seeing drastic appreciation in their value. Okay, so crypto investors are divided on them. Meme coins, what are they? The official website of meme coin also carries a disclaimer noting that Donald Trump is not an investment opportunity or a security, but a way to show support to Trump. Miscellaneous news out there. Okay, now coming to the other important news article, what do we mean by ad hocism? Ad hoc, temporary provisions, just as a time gap arrangement. Okay, so ad hocism in judiciary, that too in a constitutional position of a high court judge. Retired judges of the high court are thought to be appointed as the judges for 2-3 years in the light of increasing burden in the court. This was envisaged under Article 224A of the Constitution. Okay, so Supreme Court in 2021 said ad hoc judges should be appointed sparingly, only when one of the two conditions warrants this, or when the circumstances are pressing because of these type of things. Number one, there has to be a trigger point for appointing judges under Article 224A. What is the trigger point, sir? Okay, I will explain about transmission mechanism in the last. Transmission mechanism of monetary policy will be explained at last, don't worry. Okay, so trigger point for appointing judges under Article 224A should be when High Court has vacancies of more than 20% of total judges. For example, let's say if a High Court has got 25 judges, okay, and if at present there are 19 judges only, that means vacancies are more than 20%. So then only the High Court Chief Justice should take recourse to appointment of a retired judge of the same High Court or of some other High Court as an ad hoc judge in the Allahabad High Court. For example, if Allahabad High Court has 25 positions of judges, out of which 19 are there and 6 are vacant. Okay, 6 is more than 20%. 20% of 25 is 5. Okay, so one judge could be appointed or ad hoc judge could be appointed only when the number of vacancies is more than 20% of the sanctioned strength of the High Court. Then Allahabad High Court Chief Justice can start the process. He can recommend a name to the Chief Justice of India, the Collegium, and then can appoint it. This is what the Supreme Court said in the 2021 judgment. Or if more than 20% of the backlog of pending cases is over 5 years, if the age of the case is 5 years, only in case of at least 10% cases. If the 10% of cases are older than 5 years age, that means when the case was filed, we are standing in 2025, if the case is older than 2019, 2020, then only, and if 10% of such cases are there, then only an additional judge, not the additional, ad hoc judge should be allowed to be appointed. Why did Supreme Court say this? Ad hoc judges is a very viable, easy mechanism because this will demotivate judges. The judges who are there in the system should first be given a chance to be appointed as the regular judges. They will be more accountable. They would be less corrupt, or they would be less amenable to the phenomena of corruption because their pension, etc., is yet to be decided. Having an already retired judge being appointed as an ad hoc judge, he may be not as motivated, or he has lived his innings. This is like inviting Sachin Tendulkar to play an IPL. You getting my point? But maybe analogies may not corroborate, but yes, everybody is not as enthusiastic. Getting it or not? So that judge has lived his tenure well, or he may, having played his innings, would want to mint money, right? Rather than doing this, you can consider increasing the age of judges across the spectrum. That means the retirement age of High Court judges is 62 years. Instead of appointing the cherry-picked judges, hand-picked judges, favorites of the system, being appointed as ad hoc judges for 2 years, 3 years, it's better to increase the age of judges throughout the system. In USA, the age of retirement for judges is when they decide. In Britain, if I'm right, it is 70 years, right? In India, the age of retirement of High Court judges is 62 years and that of Supreme Court judges is 65 years. So we need to increase the age. Why? To give special treatment to ad hoc judges. And the problem is, once an ad hoc judge is appointed, he continues to remain in office till the age of 65 years. Right? So this is why the Supreme Court said that Article 224A, allowing for the appointment of ad hoc judges, can be resorted to only on the process having been initiated for filling up of regular vacancies and awaiting the appointments. Because of deadlock between the executive and judiciary, judiciary collegium sends the name to the Ministry of Law and Justice. Ministry of Law and Justice sits over the name of an inconvenient judge, which is not appreciated by the government of the day. A judge who has given some adverse judgments with regard to political party in power, for example, BJP or Congress. Okay, if Congress is in power, the Congress would also do the same to punish the judge. Uttarakhand High Court Judge K.M. Joseph Okay, he was given this treatment because he ordered against the BJP government rule in Uttarakhand when they wanted to topple the Congress government. They wanted to remove the Congress government. I'm not against BJP or Congress. Since BJP is in power and you are able to correlate the examples of present times, I'm giving you the examples of BJP. If it were Congress, I could have given you the examples of Rajiv Gandhi era because of the whatever we have read through our journey as UPSC aspirants. So don't blame me or don't accuse me as BJP person or anti-BJP or Congress or anti-Congress. Don't do that. Okay, so my endeavor here is to help you correlate. Names of the regular judges are suggested by the collegium to the ministry, to the executive. Ministry keeps on sitting over the names so that that judge retires, right? That judge retires easily, and in his place ad hoc judge, who was the favorite of the government, is appointed. So Supreme Court in 2021 judgment said that Article 224A can be used only on the process of appointment of a regular judge having been initiated. Otherwise, the regular judges will feel demotivated, no, that we are never going to be appointed as the district high court judge, or we are never going to be promoted. So let's do one thing, let's make as much money as we can. Let me know, okay, money is one thing. Why should I invest so much of effort in the files? Why should I come with something out of the box while in my career, as if I'm having no chance of promotion as a teacher, why would I wake up early in the morning if somebody is going to be brought about from the heavens? You getting my point? Promotion, seniority, merit has to prevail in the system. Otherwise, all those people who are looking up to be the seniors in the senior positions, they will all feel demotivated. So demotivation, ad hoc judges. Okay, corruption, all these elements were considered by the Supreme Court judgment. Now, what is the context of the news today? Supreme Court has itself suggested that we can revisit the provision of appointing the ad hoc judges. We can revisit the 2021 decision of the same Supreme Court itself. Supreme Court in 2021 said we should not appoint the ad hoc judges until and unless these two scenarios, either of the two scenarios are met. Either of the two scenarios is met. Like if 20% of the vacancies or 10% of the cases are older than 5 years. This is how you are supposed to make notes. Got it? Now moving further, how much time we have taken? Let me just have a tab on it. Okay, we still have 5-7 minutes. Now, memorandum of procedure. After the retired, now what is the procedure for appointment of an ad hoc judge? After the retired judges has consented to the appointment, the Chief Justice of the High Court must forward his or her name and details on the duration of the appointment to the state's Chief Minister. The Chief Minister will pass this recommendation to the Union Law Minister, who will consult the Chief Justice of India before forwarding the recommendation, and the CJ has advised to the Prime Minister of India. High Court Chief Justice will first of all request a retired judge to act as ad hoc judge. After the ad hoc judge says that yes, I want to serve as the ad hoc judge, then the name will be forwarded by the Chief Justice of the High Court to the Chief Minister. Chief Minister will send the name to Union Law Minister. Union Law Minister will consult the CJI, not the Collegium, and then CJI's consultation will be forwarded to the Prime Minister, who will then forward it to the President of India for final stamping, for final vetting, for final approval. This is what the memorandum of procedure says. But what did Supreme Court say in 2021? Supreme Court in this case named Lok Prahari versus Union of India, Supreme Court said that recommendation has to be routed through Collegium of the Supreme Court, not the CJI. Collegium includes CJI and the two senior-most judges of the Supreme Court. Collegium for the purpose of High Court includes CJI plus 2. Collegium for the Supreme Court judges includes CJI plus 4. Right? Memorandum of procedure versus Collegium. So, Supreme Court said that you should consult the Collegium, whereas the memorandum of procedure says that you need not consult the collegium, you can simply consult the CJI. Maybe CJI is also in favor of the government. So we should have 2 more judges. So this is what the Supreme Court said in 2021 case, right? Now, when can an ad hoc judge be appointed? So we have seen this. Now, when have an ad hoc judges been appointed? In 2021, the Supreme Court noted that there have been only 3 recorded instances of when these ad hoc judges were appointed. So it is a dormant provision. Now you answer, what is your opinion after having gone through the discussion? Should ad hoc judges be appointed? See, the fast-paced nature of appointing an ad hoc judge, the only element of fastness is that the person has already served as the judge of the High Court. No perusing of record, no strict procedure is required for, as is required for somebody who hasn't ever served as the High Court judge. Consider appointing an advocate, promoting or appointing an advocate as the High Court judge for the first time. IB report will be required, Intelligence Bureau report. Okay, collegium will peruse his record of pleadings before the courts he is, or imagine a district judge is to be appointed. His corruption record, his Intelligence Bureau report, everything has to be considered. So this is a time-taking process. Instead, appointing an ad hoc judge, appointing a person who has already served as the judge of the High Court, appointing him in his ad hoc capacity is relatively easier to say so, not in reality. Why can't you fast pace it? Appointing a district judge who might have been corrupt, etc., or otherwise, he could be eliminated. Consider the district judge 2, consider 3. It doesn't take more than 2 months if done in the right earnest. The problem is the deadlock between the collegium, the judiciary, and the executive, right? If that could be eliminated, we can appoint judges very quickly. But what we are trying to do over here is we are trying to find a band-aid solution. An ad hoc judge may be pro-BJP or pro-Congress. We know his record through his judgments. So that person could be appointed. And instead, his appointment will deny the chance to eligible district judges who have given historic judgments in cases like A. Raja, telecom spectrum scam, etc., or Gurmeet Ram Rahim case. So motivating, keeping the entire cohort motivated is also important. You are motivating district judges when you are appointing all the district 5,600 district judges, when you are appointing just one district judge as the High Court judge, because others also aspire to be there. When one rickshawala's son, with due respect to the effort of rickshawala, is appointed as is selected as an IAS officer, many others start preparing, right? When one chaiwala becomes the prime minister, likewise the story goes on, right? Now coming here, this news again, a bit of revision here. MDL, Mazagon Dock Limited, Dock Shipbuilders Limited, okay, so they have got the technical approval for P-75I submarine technical evaluation. Technical evaluation is done by Navy. They have given the green signal to it, okay. Project 75, it was conceived in 1997 for the construction of 2 indigenous SSK submarines known as Type 1500. Cabinet Committee on Security is this committee that approves these kind of projects, these kind of naval acquisitions, right? The key determinant, however, to qualify for is the air independent propulsion. Did I tell you that air independent propulsion system enables the naval submarines to remain underwater for quite a length of time, thereby enabling them to have that steel which is not there in the air dependent systems. Air dependent system has to come above the sea level, come up to the sea level, so as to breathe fresh air, for its engine to function, for the exhaustion to be emitted out, smoke to be emitted out, whatever diesel or fuel has been burnt has to be exhausted out. But that is not the case with air independent propulsion system, okay. So technical evaluation has been cleared. The multi-billion-dollar deal for 6 advanced conventional submarines. Conventional means diesel submarines, not the nuclear ones, okay. P-75I is conventional submarines. Now, the design offered by TKMS, that is, this is a system of France, right? Now, P75I project we are developing in collaboration with France. So, just go through this. Specifications detailed by navies. Then key determinant, however, is air independent system which enhances the endurance and steel of the submarine. Just read it once yourself. We are collaborating with France for the same P75I, the nuclear version. Okay, phases of the 272 lines of production were to be established. Just go through this, very factual. We've covered this when we talked about the three submarine projects being unveiled by the ministry. Okay, so this is there. Now, another important news: Meta secures National Company Law Appellate Tribunal relief for order against the order by CCI. Let us first understand this. Okay, I'm explaining it here, then we'll talk about, see, Competition Commission of India, SEBI, if all these bodies, they give adverse order against any company. Okay, company A, company B, Vodafone, any company, it could be Amazon, etc. Then these orders can be challenged by the company first in National Company Law Tribunal. Okay, but since the order is already given by SEBI, etc., they have the option to go to National Company Law Appellate Tribunal also. Okay. Order of Competition Commission of India challenged. What was the order against? Competition Commission of India said that by selling the WhatsApp users' data to Meta, which could instead use it for Facebook, Instagram advertisement driving business, can create an oligopolistic or controlling the market position, dominant position in the market. Got it? Dominant position would be created. Now, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal has set aside this CCI order saying that Meta's deal with Facebook, WhatsApp. Okay, Meta is the company owned by Mark Zuckerberg, the majority shareholder, which owns Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp. There are other small companies also, but WhatsApp was purchased by Meta for $19 billion to approximately $20 billion. Why so? Everybody is using WhatsApp. WhatsApp is not charging even 70 rupees per month or per year, which they were thinking of. So whatever data you exchange with your friends, I'm going to buy a new laptop. The moment you type this new laptop, buy new laptop, in the back end, the crawlers, text crawlers are there in the code of the Meta WhatsApp, which are interlinked through API. This data would be immediately transferred to Facebook. The moment you say this, if you happen to log on to Facebook, you browse your account, you are likely to see the advertisements by Apple, Lenovo, HCL with the laptops. And you should not be shocked that if somebody is reading your advertisements. No. These days, these devices like Alexa, Google Home, they even get to hear what you say. This is the integration of data. That is why the name Meta. Meta means conversions of metadata collected across all the applications or websites. Now, WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp and Meta in general, they signed an agreement, an MOU, that WhatsApp will sell its data, whatever data it's collecting through the users of WhatsApp, to all these companies. These companies will sell this data to the advertisers. If you are preparing for UPSC and if you type that I'm going to buy M. Saraswati Kant, getting it right, then you are likely to see the ads of DD Basu also, another book for polity. If you are typing M. Lakshmikant, you will see Subhash Kashyap, all the publishers, even other publishers who are not so renowned. Why? Because your ads are, your transactions, your interactions across WhatsApp are being crawled through, are not being read. They are end-to-end encrypted. But yes, so much of deciphering, so much of reading is enabled through the linkage of APIs between active program application program interface between WhatsApp, Instagram and Facebook, that this much of it could be understood by the platform. They are not precisely detailed reading of your chats is not happening. Nonetheless, this much of decipheration crawling through your chats is happening. Competition Commission of India said that by doing this kind of a deal or MOU, you are creating a dominant market position. Competition Commission of India's only job is to maintain fair play in the market, to protect consumers' interests. If dominant market position would be created, other players would be at a disadvantage. Google, YouTube, etc. So that is why these digital entities these days, not only in India, but in US, France, Australia, they are seeing these type of cases filed against themselves. Google, by knowing your destination that you are heading towards a hotel, they start showing you the restaurants and beer bars all along the way. Why? So that you have a stopover and the advertiser on Google gets to earn some revenue. And Google promotes its advertisement business. So this was all in today's news analysis, guys, right? Read the factual part yourself. Competition Commission of India, it is our job to provide the factual part side by side so that you don't have to refer to India yearbooks or Manorama yearbooks at the later stage. Okay, if you read in bits and pieces, small bites of knowledge are easily digestible than taking a super meal at a later stage, especially when it comes to UPSC. Okay, now coming to the case study quickly. Imagine you are posted as SP in a district of Haryana, and with due respect, Khap Panchayat as an institution is doing some commendable job also. But if Khap Panchayat comes up with a diktat to hang two young people who are in a relationship because they are going to have a intercaste marriage, so they have given a farman or diktat to hang the couple or to kill them, and you as an SP got a tip off that this is going to happen. After you got a tip off, you told your cops to sit in gypsy and let's go and stop this, whatever vehicle it is. Okay, you took a call to stop this. If on the way you get a call from the minister or MLA that don't go there, Khap Panchayat is an important vote bank of that minister. You go there, else you will have to face repercussions. This is an informal order. What would you do? If this order comes to you, what would you do as an SP of the district? Okay, just answer. Would you, I'm not giving the options. This is the first day. I want to see your options. All the answers posted in the comment section of this YouTube stream alone will be answered to in the next session. All right. So guys, this is all in today's news analysis. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.